It's the Melanin Queens.
Wait, girl, who's that?
Here's your host, Maria Michelle Lee, and Miss Sister Queen, Kim Ann Wilson, breaking down the misconceptions of how women treat each other and highlighting their royal beauty.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hey, how's it going? It's Sister Queen time.
Yes, welcome to episode 4 of our show. And today's episode is called First Impressions and Assumptions Are Everything. And we have a special guest today. We'll be reviewing with Moji Taiwo her book called I Give Because I'm Blessed and I'm Blessed Because I Give.
Amen.
So please just welcome her.
Hello.
Thanks, Moji, for joining us. So I'm just going to do a rundown really quickly of what my week was like, and I'll ask you ladies to do the same. I'm not going to lie, this was a tough week for me. As you guys can see, I really appreciate your support, both Maria and Moji, for your flexibility in that. My little 5-month-old, she's been going through a growth spurt, so we've been having a few sleepless nights here and there, so it's translated over into my day. And I found that, what I used to do every day, I couldn't really keep up with all of it, so I've had to cancel a few appointments and meetings just so I can stay home and rest.
You know what, Kim? I totally get that. I mean, as I said, I have 3 miniature adults right now, so they can figure themselves out. But I do remember when Rashawn, Saray, and Cayman were that age, and as we had the conversation before, every 6 weeks, there is going to be a change, right? So, we're with you. And the beautiful thing about entrepreneurship is that if you have to step back, you need to step back. There's nothing wrong with that, and we shouldn't apologize for that. I mean, that's a perfect tie-in to what we were saying last week. I'm not your superwoman. You cannot be everything to everyone.
That's absolutely correct. I don't have little ones. I don't even have teenagers, but I'm even child rearing by taking care of my grandson, one of my grandsons, who is 4 years old. And, Maria, you can attest to that. They know everything. They want to talk about everything and talk nonstop. He's upstairs now being babysat by his show so that I can have time with him.
Make sure the show is a good one. And listen, those moms who feel that they know everything and how terrible of us to sit our child in front of the TV while we have to run off and do something within the house. Quiet, sit yourself down, get a life, because you do what you have to do. You understand? I get it.
Well,
I'm learning, right? I'm learning all those tips, so I can identify with that for sure.
Kim, you are fine, and you are doing the absolute best that you can. So
that's right.
Thank you. So Maria, I know you said you were going to do a little review for us.
Yeah, a little review on just basically like what I said. Last week we talked about I am not your superwoman. We can't be everything to everyone, just as I mentioned just a little while ago. So if you have never heard of us before, thank you for finding us. Thank your friends. We are the Melanin Queens. We are on Instagram, Facebook, and our podcast both run on iTunes and Google. So go to your Google Play Store, go to your iTunes app, download us, support us, because we could definitely use your help. And all we want to do is, encourage you, empower you, adjust your crown without calling you out. I mean, today is the Christmas antlers. I'm all about the fun and festivities today, but normally I'm with my sister, Kim, wearing my crown. We're just here because we have a voice and we want to empower and encourage you with it. You're not going to get ratchetness out of us. So sorry, but not so sorry, as my daughter would say. We're just good to plant good seeds.
No, exactly. That's awesome. Thanks for that, Maria. And yeah, like you said, we're all decked out in our Christmas gear, right? Representing the season, and keep in mind that, Jesus is the reason for the season. Christ is the reason.
That's right.
So bear that in mind. So we just want to relate that to you guys. So moving on. So like I said earlier, we have a beautiful guest on tonight. Her name is Moji Taiwo. And Moji is actually an author, a speaker, a coach, a facilitator, and she's also a retired civil servant. So we just want to give her a big shout out and say thanks for being on our show today. We're going to have her on here to speak on her book, her latest book called I Give Because I'm Blessed Because I Give, which is a chronicle of an immigrant's journey from Moji. So it's her own life story and journey. And I'll let her share in a minute where you can find her book, where it's available, where you can, buy her copy and support. And obviously leave your review on that as well. So Moji is actually a retired civil servant. She used to work with Alberta Justice and Solicitor General in the Young Offenders Branch. And she did that for 31 years, where she worked tirelessly to improve, impact, and positively shape the lives of young people and their families. She also trained and mentored young staff and watched developed progress in their chosen careers, which is phenomenal. In her community, she also delivered life skills program classes to youth groups since 1993. That is so long ago. Oh my gosh.
Amazing.
And for all of that, she's received many, many community leadership and professional awards, including, but not limited to, the Governor General's Corrections Exemplary Service Bar Award in 2015, the Solicitor General and Public Security Leadership Award in 2009, and the Corrections Exemplary Service Medal Award in 2008. And just this year, she received the 25th year anniversary of the Nigerian Canadian Association of Calgary Volunteer Award, and was chosen to be on the cover as a cover story of the Lethbridge College Alumni magazine as the Wider Horizon in 2017.
Wow.
Right? Her story was featured as one of Canada's 150 stories by the Canadian Race Relations Foundation. So that's amazing. She's got great accolades, obviously, and there's plenty more behind her name, but most importantly, Moji is a mother, a grandmother, like she just said, of her little 4-year-old grandson, and she has 3 beautiful boys. So Moji, thank you for being on our show, and please feel welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Kim Ann and Maria. It is my pleasure to be with you, young, beautiful, brilliant, strong women of color.
Thank you.
Hey!
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Moji, so it's just wow, look, that list of accolades, absolutely amazing. What a servant, the saying that the quote from the Bible, any way you bless me, Lord, I'll be satisfied. As it was almost like you turned it around, like what Bishop T.D. Jakes said, and said, put on your apron and said, how can I be of service to you? And look at how you were of service and continue to be of service. I thank you, Moji, for who you are and what you're doing, because it is the women that have gone on before us that has broken the way so Kim and I could sit here and be here today, creating the path for our daughters, your daughters, and because you and many others before us have, made this path. And so it is on your backs that we climb, and we thank you for the climb.
You're most welcome. And it is always, always my pleasure, anywhere and anyhow, and how little it is that I can make a contribution and impact in any way, form, or shape.
Thank you. Well, first off, who is the beautiful Moji over and above all the amazing accolades?
I am a wife, I've been married, actually January 5th, 2019 will be 40 years.
Wow.
that I've been married.
Wow.
To a very handsome, quiet, loving, giving husband and father. And I am a mother of 3 adult children who are professional in their own rights. And a mother and a grandmother to 2 adorable grandsons. I am looking for a granddaughter. That me.
I'm just asking you, Miss Moji, what happened? You just, like, we need you to be grateful right in the moment. Look, she's looking for a granddaughter. Get busy, children. Lord.
So they've given me adorable, beautiful grandsons.
Yeah.
That I'm looking to one of the 3 to give me a granddaughter. And my daughters, who are the parents of the grandson, says, don't look at us.
Yeah.
So, who's left? My son.
Yes. That is so amazing. So amazing.
Yeah.
So tell us rather, what was your beginning? What inspired you? Did you always want to be a writer? What sat at your heart center to write?
See, I've always been a storyteller. I came to Canada to study broadcast journalism, and I actually studied that. But given the time that I studied that and the way the country was, I wasn't able to use it fully. I did work briefly at a radio station, but it didn't pan out. So I've always been a storyteller. I've always liked to acquire information and disseminate information. I've always been a keen learner. I'm always inquisitive. I want to know, and I like to share. And that's always been my background. So it's only taken 38 years to put all of that into a book.
Wow, Moji, that's amazing. And you say it's only taken 38 years. Like, even how you worded it, it only took 38 years. Like, it only took 38 minutes. Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back. It only took 38 years.
Maria, I'm not even 38 yet. I'm thinking only 38 years. I got a ways to go.
Right? And, but it's so beautiful in what you said, because, for me, I think I've said it a couple times on our podcast, that it's been gifted to me, this phrase, this sentence, I will not die with the word stuck in my throat. And being a speaker, and I'm now learning as, I go through my journey, that I'm called to speak and speak of His will, so it's just amazing how this 38 years, all that you've gone through was preparatory for
this moment.
Yes. For this moment. I mean, let's not go off too much here, but Black History Month is a couple months away, or a month and a half away. And I mean, to sit here and to know what you've done in your 38 years, that is amazing for Kim and I. True, Kim?
Yeah.
Wait. Yeah. That is true queendom right there. I have to tell you, it's true queendom. Prior to this point in your life, what would you say people's impression is of you? Or before, what was people's impression of you? What did they assume?
Well, it's interesting you ask that question, because it depended on who I met. If I'm meeting ladies or women of colors like us, they assume that I came from a very high income, very affluent family. And that's why I was able to be as eloquent and able to be determined and independent and strong-headed. Because you have to remember that in 1978, as a 19-year-old, I came to Canada on my own.
Wow.
Alone with no family here. And Canada 40 years ago was not always, wasn't always so kind, So to be single, female, Black, and coming all the way from a country in Africa was unheard of at that time. So people will assume that I'm from a affluent family. That is people of color like us. Then you flip that over and other people will say, oh, you must be so lucky to be here. Wow. You must be so lucky to have this job. You must be so lucky to be going to school. You must be so lucky to be cleaning toilets. You must be so lucky to be a teller at Zellers. And I have to tell them that, no. Luck may have a tiny little bit to do with it, but determination and clear vision has a lot to do with who I am. And with that is honesty, kindness, and integrity.
Wow.
Honesty,
kindness,
and integrity.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. My mother has gone on, and she is passed, and she died 3 days before my 30th birthday.
Mm.
And as I became a mother, when I became a mother, she would sit down and she would tell me the sacrifices of coming from one island, because I'm Jamaican, but I just found out that my history says that I am Nigerian, Cuban, and Italian.
Get out.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's quite interesting, but the majority of my bloodline is Nigerian. And when I hear the stories of how we've overcome to get to this place called Canada, and to pay for you in the 70s was no joke. Kim, you've got to ask your mother what it was like for when she came here in the 70s or the 80s. Because I want to know those stories. We need to understand those stories, because it's the whole core of who we are. And for you to share that was, I'm going through the journey with you. So I can only imagine. Since writing your book, how did you handle adversity?
Since writing the book, I thought I handled adversity really well, as you can tell throughout the book. But since writing the book, I've gotten this kind of it's like a liberation. It's a maturity. Well, I don't want to say, but I have to say I turned 60 this year, early this year. So.
Wait. What did you say?
I turned 60 early this year. So,
Kim, where do you see 60?
I know, right? She doesn't look a day over 30. Like, come on.
Wow. Okay, go ahead, Miss Moji. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So I just feel liberated. I feel like I have put everything out there, and I'm ready to just empower people. I'm ready to share with people. I'm ready to rise up to the next level of service. I'm ready to embrace people for whoever they are, wherever they are, whatever they're doing. And my calling is to serve.
Amen.
My calling is to serve. I feel no stress. I'm just full of joy and abundance peace.
That's amazing.
That is
Moji, I wanted to go back to, how you said, coming here in the 70s, and how, some people would look at you this way, and then some people would look at you the other way, right? And I kind of just wanted you to share a little bit more on that perspective, because I find even in this day and age, I personally am getting that view, right? In terms of perception, people, assuming the worst of you, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's really interesting to see that it's still prevalent in this day and age, even though, it's you experienced it over 30 odd years ago, right?
Yes, and especially also in the workplace.
Yes.
Because, I forged through. You had mentioned that I worked with the government for over 30 years. It wasn't easy being the only Black person. And not only being the only Black person, being the only Black person rising through the ranks, and a female, some people would think that, oh, how did you get here? They just can't fathom the fact that I was there and I was able to move along. And they will question it genuinely that, how did you get here? They didn't expect me to get there. And then you have the other people who says, yes, you are smart enough, you are articulate enough, you are hardworking enough, you have enough substance that whatever you want to do, we will be in the background helping you along. Those people are few and far in between, but they were there and they did help me. But then you find people of our own kind, especially the males, who are thinking, girl, who do you think you are? If you can do all of this and all of that, you must be doing things that you are not supposed to do. That's why you're being elevated. And that was the hardest part, is our own kind making assumptions that my talent, that my hard work, that my tenacity was not good enough to get me to where I wanted to be, that there must be something else.
That is absolutely amazing. I mean, I'm sitting here just, thinking like, it's something innate in us that makes us fighters, right? And we are fighters, and we dig down and there's something within the depth of our core that we can't stop. Don't stop. Keep going. Keep grinding. People are talking at you. People are trying to cut you off at the knees. People are trying to close doors. But what is it in us, in our heritage, in our bloodline? What is it in us? Yes, many times I was told about the Arawak Indians and the Maroons and, on the Caribbean side. There's something so deep in our blood that keeps us fighting, whether our people are for us or against us. Something makes us keep fighting. And I just find that so intriguing, how we keep on keeping on. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Moji, where are you headed now, and what's in store for you for 2019?
For 2019, I run a program called Parenting Connections, and I'm hoping that in 2019 I will register it if I want to work really hard. I also like to have fun. Yeah. And my husband is already saying that, I thought you are retired, but you are more busy now than then. And I'm saying, yeah, but I'm doing what I enjoy, so I can stop whenever I want. But for 2019, I'm hoping that I will register Parenting Connections. It's a life skills program that I do with preteens and teenagers. And I also facilitate parenting classes for the mothers, for the parents. So I would like to register that and maybe start on my next book.
Exactly.
Infused with lots of trips.
Nice.
This year I cut down on the trips because of this book. to promote it and to speak and on and on. So I'm inching for traveling.
Well, it's well deserved, right? I mean, it's well deserved. You have to, it's life takes you through hills and valleys. And so right now you got to go through the hill in order to come down to the valley. But then something inside of us, like, I got to go up that hill again, right? So yeah, it's sweet. Moji, where can we find you on social media?
Well, I'm on Facebook, Moji Taiwo, the public figure. I'm on Instagram at Moji Taiwo. I have, what else do I have? I have a website, www.mojitaiwo.com. And I'm on Twitter at Moji Taiwo too.
Oh, amazing. So we can find you on any of those platforms. Look at you go. You may say you're 60, but honey child, you are running like you are 30 something for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
You know that's the benefit of surrounding myself with you young people.
Yeah, it is true. It is true. I believe that there is like an interesting age gap between the three of us for sure, but I don't feel my age either. I feel like I'm somewhere stuck in 30. So
that's exactly how I feel. I don't know, Kim didn't mention this. I'm also a part of 3 women. We run a Mother's Day get together every May. We are called the Women of Vision. And we cater to women of all ages from 18 to whatever, anybody and everybody. And we just get together Mother's Day weekend and we learn, we share, we teach, and we eat and we have fun.
That's amazing. I like that. I love that, actually. I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being with us today and sharing your story. The book is amazing. Queens, if you haven't, go out and read the book. There we go. I give because I'm blessed. I'm blessed because I give. Thank you for showing it. And, get out there, read the book. Over the Christmas holidays, if you're, going down and unwinding, open up that book and pour into yourself. Pour into yourself. And so with that, here's what I want to say. Or Kim, do you have anything you'd like to say?
No, not really. Just that, for all of Moji's details, it will be in the show notes at the end of the show. So for all of you who are listening to our podcast, it will be in the description. You can follow Moji and find where, you can go and buy her book and support her. And if you're watching our YouTube channel, check the description down below. You'll see all the links to her.
And it's available on Amazon and it's available in ebook and audiobook. You can listen to it free at your library. And
There you go. That's awesome. And, we are in the season of giving. So, reading this book is definitely a way to give back, but also to receive, because there's plenty to learn from the book, and you can apply in your life going forward in 2019.
It is. It's so wonderful. And so with that, I'd like to inspire you, as what we've been doing over the past couple of podcasts, is to take this time to inspire you. So Moji, we thank you so much again for being a part of the show today. And queens out there, just give and be blessed. And be blessed because you're able to position yourself to receive it. Christmas is a time of family, friends, love, and joy. But if we're not focused, if we are unconscious going through our holiday season, you become unconscious. You are easily angered by what someone has said. You don't want to carry on with any events. It's almost like you want to shut down and hide. But this is the time to make peace with family and friends, it is easier to make peace with family and friends and forgive to let it go. You don't have to sit back and always break bread for them, but look at them with a different set of eyes. This is your opportunity to let go of the baggage of 2018 and move forward in newness, in love, in peace, in joy, and kindness. You know, we can't be solely focused on the outside beauty if the inside beauty is fully tarnished. So as you go and you enjoy your holiday with your family and your friends, also keep in mind to be in a position to release and be open to a new position, a new set of eyes and way to live. You are beautiful queens and you deserve to expand your territory. And you can't do that with living in the past, being filled with assumptions, right? So thank you again for joining us. Kim, I love you. Merry Christmas. Moji, I love you. Merry Christmas. And stay tuned to what we've got going on.
Yeah. Merry Christmas and a wonderful, wonderful 2019. And as I always say, dare to be positively different.
Hey, I like
That's
that.
powerful. Yes, that is powerful. Dare to be positively different. So that could be a theme for 2019, ladies. Dare to be positively different.
I love that.
So we do want to wish you a very Merry Christmas and a wonderful and prosperous New Year to all our listeners, to all our supporters, and to all who are just guests like Moji, who I know will be a super fan of us moving forward. So we just wanted to share with you guys that our next episode will be on Monday, January 7th. And the topic for that episode is selling yourself short. So come ready to hear and pitch in. Like, please feel free, as always. We recommend and encourage you to send in questions ahead of time. If you have any questions you'd like us to discuss over the show, please feel free to let us know what those are. We would love to discuss them and share our answers with you on our recordings. So do that. And as usual, you can find us on Facebook. We are on Instagram as well as the Melanin Queens. And you can also reach us, guys, on any one of your podcasting channels. So we are on iTunes. We're also on Google and Android. So check us out. And please do leave a review for us and let us know what you like about the show. If you've received any value from our recordings, please do let us know. That would be amazing. You know, it's Christmas, so give back. Let us know we're doing okay. Okay.
Like and share, and we look forward to also the response and replies on our YouTube channel, The Melanin Queens.
Merry Christmas, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
We're all royalty. Fix another queen's crown. And when you do it in private. Until next time, girls.